Hey guys, welcome to Thursday's stretching and mobility class. Today's going to be a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more movement involved. So feel free to follow along here. You won't need any equipment. I've got a timer for the warm-up we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of animal flow Tabata. So if you wanted to use this timer on your own, I have put the link in the description to this video. So all you would have to do is download the Seconds Pro app and you'll be able to either create your own timers or use the one that I had created today. So our warm-up is going to involve 4 different exercises. We're going to do 20 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. I'm going to show you the exercises now and then we'll get started. So the first one is going to be beast activation. So setting up, you want to create that tabletop with your back. So my knees are closer to my wrists than a standard push-up, and I'm pushing through my hands and my toes to stabilize. So I don't really want to be sunken in, and I don't want to create a huge back. We got to find that flat surface, our core is engaged, and feeling like we're pushing away from the ground. So that's our beast position. Beast activation is going to be lifting opposite foot and hand, switching sides. And just getting that pause at the top before you switch is important. It's not really about getting all the reps in, as many as you can in 20 seconds. It's more so slow and controlled, really activating our glutes, our core, our shoulders, upper body, all that stuff. The next exercise is going to be beast side kick through. So now, staying in that position, what we're going to do is if I was going to go to the left, I'm going to lift my left arm up, I'm going to drop my hips, and I'm going to kick out to the side, and then come back to center. So I'm alternating, kicking out to the side, and I'm trying not to kick my camera, and then we'll rest. So the next exercise is going to be crab activation. So I'm going to put my fingers away from my hips, feet flat on the ground. I'm going to lift my hips off the ground by using my glutes, and I'm going to alternate touching opposite foot and hands. Again, it's not about getting all the reps in 20 seconds. It's more so being able to control that movement. The next exercise, 20 seconds, is going to be our alternating reach. So we're back in this position, and now I'm really going to drive through my heels to reach up and over, creating an arch and bringing my hips back down. Again, not speed work, just control the movement. All right, so it looks like we're ready to go. So I've got my timer set up. I've got a 10-second countdown, and then we'll start our warm-up.
Warm up.
So remember, the first exercise we're starting with is our beast activation.
3, 2, 1. Beast activation. Three, 2, 1. Rest.
All right, first one down. And remember, we're only doing 2 rounds here. So we're moving into our side kick through.
Three, 2, 1. Beast side kick through.
And if you want to add a little pizzazz, you can jump into the next one, controlling how fast you let your foot out.
3,
I'm gonna bring it back down.
rest.
All right. So now we're flipping over into our crab position. It's a little dusty in here. So remember, keep your fingers pointed away from your hips.
3, 2, 1. Crab activation.
And slowly keeping contact with the floor, Nothing should really be a slap and recover.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
Ooh, I skipped out a second on that one. That's okay. Next one we've got is our alternating reach. Make sure my feet are even.
3, 2, 1. Alternating crab reach.
And we're going.
Three, 2, 1. Rest.
That wasn't so bad. Round one done. We're getting back into our beast position where we're gonna do our second round of activation.
Three, 2, 1. Beast activation. Three, 2, 1. Rest.
Whew. All right, last round of side kick throughs. See if I can keep them slow and controlled.
3, 2, 1. Beast side kick through.
Woo!
Three, 2, 1. Rest.
Woo! Cool. Right, flipping over. 2 more exercises left in our warm-up. Getting some alarms going.
3, 2, 1. Crab activation. Three, 2, 1. Rest.
All right, one last exercise here. We're getting those reaches in. Make sure that you point up and over, not across.
Three, 2,
All right,
1.
here we go.
Alternating crab reach. Three, 2, 1. Your timer is complete.
All right, and that's the end of our warm-up. All right, so the next 2 exercises I want to do are going to be 5 scorpions each side, paired up with 5 world's greatest stretches each side. So the first thing we're going to do is our scorpion stretch. I really like this one because I feel like it stretches out my upper body as well as getting a twist in my spine. So to set up for this, I'm going to get in my push-up position, but now I'm going to bend my knees a little bit. I'm going to lift my left leg. I'm going to lift that knee or the heel as high as I can, and then just let it flop over. So as I bring my weight across, I'm going to feel the weight go into my right shoulder and a stretch down my left side. Bringing it back down, and I'm going to switch. And you can wait, I'm gonna tuck my shirt in, you can wait a couple seconds at the top, get that good stretch to settle for a couple breaths, and then bring it back down. So I'm gonna start over. This is my third. Last one. And 5. All right, going right into the world's greatest stretch. What that's gonna look like is now we're for sure in our push-up position. So I'm gonna go ahead and get set up there. I'm gonna bring my left foot next to my left hand. The next step, keeping my back leg straight, this knee is bent. I'm gonna drive my elbow down towards my ankle while keeping this foot flat on the ground. So I'm gonna push, push, push here, and then rotate to the leg that's in front of me. So I'm gonna get that twist here, putting my hand back on the ground. I'm now gonna switch. So I'm gonna straighten this front leg and let my back leg bend. And then I'm just gonna switch sides. Still driving that elbow down to the opposite ankle, rotating up, hamstring stretch, and back to push-up position. So if you have space, if you're in your backyard or in a field somewhere, you can crawl forward into the next side, kind of like a Spider-Man crawl, if you've ever done that before. So staying low, and you can just start the opposite side. But here we don't really have any space, so we're just gonna stay put. And each time you do these, you might notice you can get a little bit further in your stretch than the last one. Always kind of challenge yourself how good of a stretch you can get on these ones, really opening up the hips. I believe this is the 5th one. Go ahead and grab some water if you need to, and we'll get back into it. The next thing I've got is we're gonna do a progression of the Turkish get-up. So we're gonna start laying on the ground, knee bent, same side, hand up, 45-degree angle here. I'm gonna keep contact on my fingertips. I'm gonna get onto my elbow, then my hand. Adjust my hand so it's underneath my shoulder so I'm feeling stable. And then what I'm gonna do is drive through my heel to get my hips up. And then I'm just gonna go back down and reach. This time, I'm gonna bring my straight leg through, so I'm in a half kneeling position, and then I'm gonna get back here and down. So I'm gonna drive up, down, up, half kneeling position, here, bring it back down. And let's go ahead and switch sides. So now my right knee is bent, my right arm's in the air, 45-degree on the left hand, elbow, hand, heel, hips up, down. Hips up, half kneeling position, hips up, straight leg, down. Let's do that one more time. Really drive through your heel to get your hips up, rest, driving up again, half kneeling position, hips up, leg through, and down. So we're gonna superset that with divers. So I'm gonna get into my push-up position. So now I'm gonna start, my knees are bent a little bit. I'm gonna push my hips back as much as I can. So I'm really feeling this in my chest and shoulders. And now what I'm gonna do is slowly dive. So I wanna go head first and then just brush my mat, not letting my hips rest on the ground, but I'm gonna finish looking up towards the ceiling, letting my hips and my spine make a big old U. And then I'm gonna lift with my hips as I push myself back into this position. And then elbows are bending, scraping the floor exhaling, looking at the ceiling. Pulling my hips up, starting over. I'm gonna do 3 more here. And rest. So those 2 are really good for just total body awareness, as well as getting your range of motion in, kind of figuring out where your positioning needs to be as you go through these movements. The next thing we're gonna do is a beast front kick through back to a frog position. So what that's gonna look like, if you've never done a front kick through before, your setup is gonna be the same. You're in that beast position. If I was gonna bring my right foot through, what I'm gonna do is put my left foot next to my hand. I don't need this one, so I'm gonna get it out of the way. And then I'm gonna bring my right foot through and back. So the goal here is that you wanna be able to bring your foot straight out in front of you, not going more so into the side kick through here. So a little bit more requirements on our hips. If you've got tight hamstrings, then I would probably go through a couple more world's greatest stretches or some inverted hamstring stretches just to loosen up there. So to put this together, if we've got our front kick through, I'm gonna get set up here. So left foot here, right foot through. When I bring it back, then I'm gonna push my hips down towards my heels, and then I'm back up. So front foot, pushing back. It's gonna feel a little bit different than if I were just sitting on my heels. There's still a little bit more core required because we're still balancing on our toes. So the goal here is that I wanna alternate, and I'm gonna get a total of 4. So 2 each side here. Here we go. So beast position. Let's start with my right foot. Here. All right. And that one's definitely gonna feel different if you haven't done it before. Again, things that I can work on personally, keeping my back flat, and then really driving my hips out. I definitely get tight in my hip flexors, so this is one that's good for kind of getting those movements in, asking them to be a little bit more mobile so that I can get into my front kick through position, as well as being able to balance and drive my knees away when I push my hips back. So we're gonna be in our beast position, and it's getting pretty hot in here. I kept the garage door shut, so it's turning into a sauna. It's good. So we're gonna get into our beast position. We're gonna do hip circles. So the goal here, quality range of motion. So ideally, we wanna be in this position. If you're struggling with balance or getting good rotations, the first level would be to just start here, 3 points of contact as you try to draw a huge circle with your knee. And you want to get 5 forward and then 5 backwards. What we're trying to do today is the beast position set. So again, focusing on driving through your hands. I've got a big surface area on my mat. I'm going to drive through my toes to get my knees up, keeping that flat back, and then I'm going to draw those circles. So I'm going to go 5 forward, 5 backwards. Get it. My lucky hip pop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to take a rest because I know when I switch sides, I'm going to be pretty burnt out, upper body and core. So I'm just going to stretch that one out really quick, shake my wrists off, and then we're going to go into the opposite side. So I'm just going to switch positions here, driving through my hands and my toes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could do a couple rounds of these guys here. These are another good finisher at the end of your workout or even your warm-up. They're pretty much good anywhere in your workout, kind of activating upper body, core, getting that hip mobility in. It's a great workout. The last thing we're gonna do just to cool down is we're gonna do the bretzel. So if you haven't done that before, couple steps to get this thing going. If you're laying down on your side, you're gonna scoop either under or over your top leg. I'm gonna put my hand under, so I'm bringing my knee towards my chest. Now I'm gonna reach with my overhand and I'm gonna grab just the toe or the top of my foot. And I'm gonna pull that down. So now my knee is away from me. I'm gonna put pressure into my hand here. And now I'm gonna try to bring my shoulders all the way down to the ground. So you're actively pulling this knee forward and putting pressure in your opposite foot into your hand, while also driving down your shoulder to the floor. So we're getting a twist in our spine, we're getting stretch in our glute, maybe our hip flexor, quad, wherever you're extra tight. And you're just gonna hold here. This is a good time to practice your breathing if you're not busy talking. About 30 seconds to a minute each side. And as you get comfortable, as you exhale, you can ask for a little bit of a deeper stretch. So I'm gonna get reset up, hooking over, grabbing under, and then bringing those shoulders down. This side's definitely a little bit tighter. Then remember, keep pulling as you drive that shoulder down. Feeling stretches all over the place. I really like the bretzel as an end of workout stretch down because it's pretty convenient as far as time goes. You can kind of hit a little bit of everything in a short period of time. So that's all I have today. Hope you enjoyed this video. You can make a comment. Any sort of feedback is welcome with what sort of mobility kind of stuff you want to do next week, and I'll see you then.